In track and field, when you line up to the start, the athlete with the highest top speed is the most likely to win the race. In order to improve top speed, there are a series of things you need to do. You need to have adequate technique to allow the proper transfer of force and to prevent injury. You need to know how to schedule maximal effort flying sprints into your program, and you have to incorporate plyometrics that are relevant to top speed. If you have a program that has the right balance of all of these components, you will see drastic improvements in your top speed. When it comes to top speed, most people think of flying sprints. Flying sprints are a drill where you allow the athlete a 20 to 30 meter acceleration zone, followed by a fly 10 to 30 meter zone. The purpose of this form of training is to achieve the highest possible speed in between those zones. Now, the part that people most commonly mess up is how to ensure that top speed is isolated during this exercise. To ensure that top speed is isolated, athletes should incorporate roll-in starts. A roll-in start or jog-in start is where the athlete starts while they're already in motion. Here's an example of what that looks like. Roll-in starts allow for the body to focus its energy on upright maximal sprinting. When you do a stationary start, your body is challenged to overcome inertia, and that process takes a lot of energy. Rolling starts are a great way to isolate top speed without taxing the body from the acceleration. Intensities have to be between 95 and 100% to obtain the best results. So for example, if our best flying 10 is 1 second, you should divide 1 by 0.95, and that would tell you the minimum time you would have to run to stimulate change, which is about 1.05 seconds. Another thing I would like to add is competition while doing these maximal effort sprints. So for example, if you and your buddy do a 60-meter sprint, doing this 60-meter sprint will allow you to recruit a lot more muscle fibers since you are competing and nobody wants to get beat. So subconsciously, you are going to try as hard as you can in order not to get beat. But we don't always have access to fast training partners to push us during training. But these higher intensities do come with a caveat, and that being that you would need more time to recover in between sprint sessions due to the overall higher intensity. Another aspect of top speed sprinting that is arguably the most important part is technique. During upright sprinting, many athletes tend to overstride, leaning too far forward. This places the hamstrings in a very injury-prone position and also causes a lot of unnecessary braking forces, leaving you with a messed up hamstring and trash times. Another mistake is leaning too far back, running with the recliner chair like Jake Paul. This is usually done in a false attempt to acquire high knees. Good form should be striking under your center of mass with a neutral set pelvis, sometimes with a very, very minimal slight lean. Knees together at touchdown. Your knees, hips, and ankle joints don't collapse at touchdown. You have a relaxed upper body. Arms aren't fixed at a 90 degree but actually angle to almost 180 degrees before ricocheting back to 90 degrees at the backside and front side of the body, and a dorsiflex foot. While drills might help improve your coordination and technique in certain aspects, the best way to truly improve your form is to ensure good mechanics while performing maximal effort sprints between 95 and 100% intensity. Wickets are also a very good way to teach the athlete to strike under their center of mass. Wickets provide a tangible way to perceive the feeling of striking under your center of mass and are a great way to teach this to athletes which may not know what that feeling feels like. When you are experienced enough, you can pair maximal effort sprinting with wickets, but in order to do this, you would need to be confident enough to not subconsciously slow down due to the fear of hitting hurdles. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what can I do in the gym that would help my top speed? And the simple answer is that most exercises in the gym typically only help improve very early acceleration. Top speed sprinting should be placed alongside plyometrics that are very reactive. During top speed sprinting, the foot in Olympic athletes contact the ground for about 0.8 seconds. During that small amount of time, the athlete has to produce enormous amounts of energy to propel themselves forward. In order to improve our top speed, we have to improve how much energy we produce during that very limited time constraint. Plyometrics offer an outlet to improve these forces in that limited time constraint. Now, there is another caveat. The plyometrics you perform to improve your top speed must be done within the time constraints that are similar to your ground contact times during top speed. So for example, if during your max effort flying sprint, your ground contact times are about 0.1 seconds, most plyometrics should be near that amount of time. Some good exercises that are typically within that range are tuck jumps, pogo hops, and low hurdle hops. More advanced athletes are capable of matching the ground contact times necessary during single leg movements like single leg hops. So ideally, instead of pairing top speed workouts with a weight room workout, you would want to pair it with a plyometric session. When wanting to improve your top speed, it is essential to balance your training sessions and not overtrain. To make sure that you don't overtrain, make sure you rest 48 hours in between each top speed session. So if you want to train top speed at 12 p.m. on a Monday, you would train again at 12 p.m. on a Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to always strive to be better and stay planetary.